cemetery after what black man does to destroy 100 years of sacred tradition. The flat-out disrespect intended by the ignorant masses of wannabe protesters who have begun kneeling during times of patriotic displays of respect is quite obvious to most of us. This is not really about any kind of actual protest for the betterment of the plight of minorities in America. Colin Kaepernick started this kneeling BS and literally stated that he was doing it because he refused to honor a flag that represented racism and oppression. Anyone claiming it is for any other reason is either deaf or blind. The SJW troops are clinging to his stance as if it is the word of God, and they are not backing off in any arena at this point. One such protester clearly thought it would be acceptable to take the fake protest to the one place it should definitely have never been taken to: Arlington and the tomb of the unknown soldier. This teenager's disgusting display of ignorance and dishonoring of our lost soldiers is all the proof one should need to know that their intentions are false and the blame they lay on white people for their plight in life. This is a sign of parental failure, period. Not social justice activism. According to Freedom Daily, the tomb of the unknown soldier in Arlington National Cemetery is guarded 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, come rain, snow, sleet, or hail. Tomb guard sentinels solemnly guard the large white marble sarcophagus that holds the bones of our fallen soldiers whose identities are known only to God. A lone trumpet playing the haunting melody of taps resonates through the surrounding hills of the cemetery, bringing to mind the ultimate sacrifice of our fallen warriors made to preserve our country's freedom. The guard is changed on the hour every hour where this elaborate and sacred ritual has been meticulously kept since the year 1937 by elite soldiers from the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment. The only sound that visitors hear in the cemetery is the lone trumpet playing its sorrowful melody in the background, evoking feelings of sadness and respect by most Americans who come to pay their respects. But the solemn atmosphere of that nearly 100-year-old tradition was suddenly ripped to shreds several days ago after one of Obama's finest decided to show up and completely destroy the honor of our fallen soldiers to make a disgusting political statement in front of the unmarked tomb. A combat veteran and his daughter were making their way up to the front of the line, and a young black man decided to turn the sacred and hallowed grounds into a site for his protest against America, where he dropped to one knee in the same manner we've witnessed disrespectful athletes do ever since football season began. The photo began to rapidly make its rounds on the internet after being posted by a user on 4chan. Americans were immediately outraged at what they saw, completely bewildered at what the possible reasoning for protesting our fallen soldiers could be in the mind of this kneeling black man. Kneeling at the tombstone of one of the very heroes that died for his right to kneel in protest is the most disrespectful thing imaginable. He may be exercising the right provided for him by those we have lost, but he really needs to hit both knees and pray for forgiveness for the numerous sins he more than likely committed the whole week before this picture was taken. I am not in jail. I am not in jail because SHT like this never happens in front of me. I blame all the people around him, and I blame us all together. The people around him cause somebody should have put a knee in his jaw. And I blame all of us for letting this shit get this far. I've laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknowns when I was 13 years old, and this pisses me off. I get that he has the constitutional right to do this, but he needs to understand that there is a time and place for a protest. The time wasn't right then and the place wasn't at the tomb. Stand up and leave the grounds. Those buried at Arlington deserve all honor and respect regardless of your political opinions. I thought taking a knee wasn't about protesting the military? Some $8 holes like the guy in this picture taking a knee at the tombstone of the unknown is only looking for 15 minutes of fame to get his name all over Facebook and think that he's a badass thug. Whereas a Marine to kick his ass for what he has done. Put him in trauma for a few months and break both his knees so that he can't do it again. Another cum-gurgling generational welfare leech attempting to stoke the flames of hatred while trying to get his 15 minutes of airtime. This is truly sick. How in the world do the remains of these fallen warriors have anything to do with the oppression that blacks claim they have from living in America? Had it not been for the ultimate sacrifices that our brave men and women have made for generations, we'd still be living under tyranny without any freedoms whatsoever. But that fact seemed to be completely missed by this black man at the cemetery who decided to show up at the grave of our unknown soldiers to spew sickening gestures at the men who gave everything that he so callously and idiotically takes for granted. This young man's acts are no doubt inspired by the racist athletes in the NFL who continue to protest our country and disrespect our fallen warriors on the football field. No longer are these idiots happy to silently kneel or take a knee. They're now making this a race thing and disrupting football games to practice their racism. Instead of quietly protesting, some black players are now raising black power salutes on the football field whenever they tackle a white player as proclamation of their superiority over the white race in the country they view as white America. For those of you who predicted that these anti-American protests were just the beginning of our country going to complete crap, you'd be 100% correct. Liberals will not be satisfied until every American symbol, statue, monument, pastime, and sacred tradition is completely ruined, as they seriously believe that anything that represents our country is automatically racist and should be destroyed. Someone in the crowd should have done something to have that young person removed from the grounds immediately. The tomb guards have often had to force people out or call them on their despicable actions. Admittedly, this is the most disrespectful action I have ever seen at the tomb to date. Just like times before, this person should have been removed. Our country is being overtaken by a violent and uneducated group of individuals who are gaining ground by enlisting anyone who has so-called clout in our society. Sadly, we are being overrun by children. Enough is enough. The SJW types have violated all things American, including everyone's rights except their own, and it has to be stopped before it gets even more out of control. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.